"You're trespassing," she shrieked, hurling a half-empty cup of iced coffee straight at me while I was mowing my own lawn. Had hit the mower with a wet smack, splashing over the blades and hissing into steam I hadn't even come close to crossing the hedge line, not even close. But there she was, Karen, in full HOA regalia, pink visor, clipboard clutched like a legal weapon, and fury cranked up to hurricane levels with one finger, stabbing the air like she was conducting a symphony of lawsuits. She screamed into her phone, "Yes, 911, I have an armed intruder with a dangerous machine." Imagine waking up on a peaceful Saturday morning ready to mow your lawn, only to have a half-empty iced coffee hurled at you by a clipboard-wielding HOA president named Karen. This isn't just a story, it's a saga that gripped an entire neighborhood, a tale of property lines, power trips, and the unshakable weight of truth. By the end of this journey, you'll see how a simple strip of grass became the battleground for a war that exposed lies, toppled the tyrant, and restored peace to a community. Buckle up, because this is the kind of story that'll keep you glued to the screen, wondering how far one woman's ego can take her and how it all comes crashing down. The spark, a coffee cup, and a power trip, it all started on a Saturday morning that felt like any other. The sun was climbing, the birds were chirping, and I was pushing my trusty mower across my lawn, the same lawn I'd tended for 6 years, without a whisper of trouble. Then, like a storm cloud bursting, Karen appeared, pink visor perched on her head, clipboard clutched like a shield. She shrieked, "You're trespassing." Before I could process her words, a half-empty iced coffee sailed through the air, splattering across my mower's blades in a dramatic hiss of steam. I froze, stunned, as she jabbed her finger at me, dialing 911 to report an armed intruder with a dangerous machine. My weapon, a push mower, my crime, trimming grass on my own property. Karen had moved into the neighborhood 2 months prior, swiftly seizing the HOA presidency like a conqueror, claiming a throne. Her reign was marked by petty rules, mailbox color mandates, windshield length limits, and an obsession with control. That strip of grass by the old oak tree, a tree my grandfather planted after returning from Korea, was her latest fixation. Never mind that the tree's plaque bore my family's name, or that my deed clearly outlined my property. To Karen, that grass was her empire, and I was the barbarian at the gates. The escalation signs, lies, and a neighborhood divided. The police arrived in record time, 2 patrol cars screeching to a halt. Karen waved them over, brandishing an HOA map like it was the Constitution. "He's violating community space," she declared, pointing to a crumpled printout. The officers, one clearly wishing he were fishing, examined the map and shrugged. "Ma'am, this isn't a legal survey," the younger cop said. Karen's face reddened, but she didn't back down. She demanded a trespassing warning, accused me of stalking her, damaging her flower bed, and even claimed my non-existent dog barked at her grandchild. "I don't have a dog." The cops left without action, but Karen's war was just beginning. That night, I found wooden stakes on my lawn, each bearing a laminated sign, "Private HOA property. Trespassers will be reported." An envelope on my porch contained an HOA violation letter demanding I remove my mower, stored in my garage, from community land. I laughed, but the humor faded when Karen hammered a stake into the oak tree's roots. That tree wasn't just wood and leaves, it was my grandfather's legacy. Her audacity lit a fire in me. This wasn't about grass anymore, it was about principle. Karen's campaign intensified. She filmed me whenever I stepped outside, sent defamatory emails to the HOA list, and accused my cousin of parking too close to her curb. Neighbors began to whisper, some swayed by her theatrics. She posted on the neighborhood Facebook group, painting me as a land-grabbing villain, complete with a photo of her pointing at her signs like a soap opera star. Flyers appeared accusing me of bribing the county clerk and planting fake survey stakes. One neighbor, Mrs. Jensen, handed me a flyer, shaking her head. "She's calling you a con artist. Honey, it's nonsense, but she's stirring the pot." The turning point, Cliff, and the truth. I'd had enough. The police wouldn't act without a crime, and the HOA was Karen's puppet. So I called Cliff, a land surveyor with 30 years of experience, mapping everything from forests to gold Mine's when I described Karen's antics. He chuckled. Sounds like a turf war with someone who never got over Monopoly. The next morning, Cliff arrived in a weathered green truck, his GPS rig gleaming like a spy gadget. He eyed Karen stakes and muttered, "She staked your tree. That's next level HOA theater." Cliff worked methodically using GPS, a metal detector, and county records. Karen stormed out, demanding a permit. Cliff didn't flinch. "Ma'am, I'm licensed. Permits don't apply on private land, and this isn't yours." By noon, he called me over. "Here's the kicker," he said, pointing to his tablet. "Her garage, a third of it's on your land, that patio, with the fire pit, yours too." The survey confirmed Karen's encroachments built without permits a decade ago. I stood there, vindication washing over me. Karen wasn't just wrong, she was a squatter. I confronted her with the survey, hoping for reason. She scoffed, slamming her door so hard the porch lights rattled. The next day, bigger signs appeared: property dispute in progress, HOA protected area. Karen was doubling down, but I had the law on my side. My lawyer, Andrea, a quiet powerhouse, reviewed the survey and grinned. "She's toast. We've got a quiet title suit, zoning violations, and more. The unraveling fraud, fines, and a fallen Queen." Andrea's investigation uncovered a gold mine. Karen's garage extension lacked permits, making it an illegal structure. Worse, she misused $3,000 in HOA funds for security upgrades to that same garage. A capped-off wall pipe under her patio, discovered by Cliff, revealed she'd been illegally drawing water for her garden, water rights tied to my deed. Karen's obsession with the land wasn't just ego, she was hiding a resource theft. The neighborhood began to crack. Fill-in HOA board member leaked expense reports showing Karen's fraud. Neighbors, once swayed by her lies, saw the survey and turned at an emergency HOA meeting. Karen's empire crumbled. Phil presented the evidence, and I spoke simply. "I just wanted to mow my grass. No one's above the law." The board voted 4-1 to remove her. Anita, the treasurer, became interim president, undoing Karen's absurd rules. The lawsuit was a slaughter. Andrea's evidence, surveys, photos, zoning violations, financial records was undeniable. The judge ruled Karen's garage and patio encroachments, ordering their removal or a costly land purchase. She was fined for water theft and faced a $12,000 penalty for the unpermitted garage. Demolition day came, and I watched from my oak tree as her garage wall fell. Piece by piece, Karen stayed inside, blinds drawn, her kingdom reduced to rubble. A personal reflection, the weight of truth. This wasn't just a property dispute, it was a clash of values. Karen wielded fear and lies, believing control trumped truth, but truth has a gravity that no sign or flyer can defy. I felt anger when she staked my tree, frustration when neighbors doubted me, and relief when the gavel fell. Yet, watching her house go up for sale, I felt no joy, only closure. This saga taught me that standing firm, armed with facts, can shift tides. It wasn't about winning, it was about restoring what was right. Case studies other Karen encounters. Karen's story isn't unique across America. HOA tyrants like her essay, chaos, but truth often prevails. Take Sarah from Texas, who faced an HOA president named Linda over a backyard shed. Linda claimed it violated setback rules, issuing fines and threats. A survey revealed Linda's own fence encroached on Sarah's lot. Sarah sued, won, and Linda resigned. Her credibility shattered. Or consider Mike in Florida, whose HOA leader, Barbara, banned his solar panels. Mike's research uncovered Barbara's illegal pool extension. A lawsuit forced its removal, and Barbara moved away. These stories mirror mine. Ordinary people pushed too far, wielding evidence to topple petty desperates. They show that HOA Karens thrive on intimidation but crumble under scrutiny. The lesson: document everything, verify boundaries, and don't fear the fight when you're right. Lessons learned: the power of persistence. Know your rights. Property deeds and surveys are your shield. Karen's defeat began with Cliff's survey, grounded in county records. Always verify your boundaries. Stay calm, stay factual. Karen thrived on drama, but my restraint, sharing surveys, not insults. One neighbor's trust, emotion sways, evidence endures. Community matters. Talking to neighbors like the Hendersons or Phil built allies. Karen's isolation Was her downfall connection was my strength. Truth prevails, lies may spread fast, but truth has staying power. Karens, signs and flyers faded, the survey and court ruling stood firm. Conclusion: a lawn reclaimed, a lesson etched as I sit on the bench beneath my oak tree, the grass green and the air light. I reflect on a war I didn't choose but couldn't avoid. Karen's signs are gone, her garage of memory, her influence dust. The neighborhood laughs again, kids play, and peace, real peace, has returned. This wasn't just about a lawn, it was about standing up when someone tries to rewrite your truth. If you take one thing from this saga, let it be this: no matter how loud the Karens of the world scream, the ground doesn't lie. Hold your line. Arm yourself with facts, and the truth will carve its own path. So next time you mow your lawn, check your boundaries. You never know when a Karen might be watching, ready to claim what's yours. But if she does, remember this story and fight like hell.